Well, it's Friday, and this is departure day for our raft adventure. However, here I am in my car. We are postponed. So Hurricane Sally, the remnants of Hurricane Sally came through South Carolina yesterday and dumped, I don't know, a couple of inches of rain on our state. And all that water is now feeding into the river system, including the Congaree. And the Congaree River has gone from 5 or 6 feet up to more than 15 in just 48 hours. So that's flood stage. Over 15 feet is flood stage. And what that means is that not only is there a lot more water in the river, it's moving a lot faster, about 3 times faster than it was. But also, since it's now flooded over its banks, when it gets down to the Congaree Swamp, down by the national park, it's over the banks. There's nothing to stop us from going into the swamp because there's nothing to keep us in the banks. So in an unpowered raft with nothing but paddles and some poles, is just too much. It's too dangerous for us to risk it. To get a better understanding of that, this morning I called my friend Eric Harkins, who owns a company called Back 40 Aerial Solutions. He does drone photography for real estate work, for large tracts of land, really good stuff. But he's also an expert on the river and an avid outdoorsman. And he's been very much good counsel for us and giving us advice along the way. And I asked him about it. And so I want to share with you the comments that he made just so you can get a better understanding of where we are. They're very educational, and I hope you enjoy them.
I get it. And nobody could predict a hurricane coming inland and coming our way. Safety first, man.
What are the dangers of being on the river when it's flooded like this?
Drowning. Your raft getting crashed up against something and broken apart. I mean, especially since you're kind of on like an experimental craft. I can put you on the river today. I got some buddies who are going rafting, like literally taking a raft that they take up to West Virginia and they're putting in on the Saluda behind the dam and coming down. But that's how, they wouldn't do it in a kayak or a canoe. The swamp is a ephemeral wetlands, essentially. I mean, it doesn't fill up until the water's high, and basically there's just a point in the river where it crests into the swamp's basin, and because the water's moving so fast, you're A, not going to be able to reach the ground with the poles, and B, you'd have to have like a pretty significant outboard motor just to be able to really move around in this water. The chances of you getting caught in the current and going into the swamp are real. And there's nobody to come rescue you. I mean, I know you want to get on the water. I know you do, man, but it's not going to get better. The water will continue to rise because the majority of that rainfall went to the upstate. And that's going to hit the Broad River Basin. And there's no dams on the Broad River Basin, north of Columbia. I mean, I think you got to get into North Carolina before you hit a dam. So all that water is coming uncontrolled into the basin. Now, granted, at this speed, you're talking about turning a 4-day trip into a 1 or a 2-day trip if everything goes right. But the other concern is you have nowhere to beach at night. You have nowhere to tie up because the water's so high. There's all those sandbars that you would have, taken a break on, they're gone. They're underwater.
So it's
just not in your favor at all. There's as a scoutmaster, as a parent, I know in your heart you want to find every way to do this, man, but I'm just trying to be the voice of reason to tell you there's way too many reasons stacked up not to. So you knew that there was something off about the situation, and your instincts were correct. The water is just flowing too fast. You're just not going to have control. I'm sorry for you, man. I understand the wanderlust and the planning you put into this, but I think you'll be a lot happier off doing it when the water goes back down.